Have you ever wondered why some people seem to radiate inspiration, while others constantly seek it? Or why guilt can feel like a prison, trapping you in a cycle of regret? What if kindness was the ultimate strength, even in a world that seems to thrive on conflict? And could there be more to pleasure than just fleeting moments of joy? Today, we're diving into the world of Stoicism with 4 powerful lessons that can transform your perspective on life. We're talking about being the inspiration instead of just seeking it, breaking free from the chains of guilt, practicing kindness even when it's tough, and seeking higher pleasures that truly elevate your life. Sounds intriguing, right? Have you ever felt like you're constantly chasing inspiration but never quite catching it? Or maybe guilt has been weighing you down, making you feel stuck. And let's not forget about kindness. Is it really as simple as it sounds, especially in today's world? And what about pleasure? Are we settling for superficial joys when we could be reaching for something deeper and more fulfilling? Stick around, because we're about to unpack all of this and more. By the end of this video, you'll have fresh insights and practical steps to incorporate these philosophical concepts into your daily life. Welcome to Stoicism Today, Wisdom for Modern Life. Our channel is all about bringing ancient Stoic wisdom to help you navigate modern challenges. Let's get started. Lesson 1. Don't be inspired, be inspirational. All right, folks, let's talk about inspiration. Not the kind you get from scrolling through Instagram or watching motivational videos on YouTube, although those can be a nice pick-me-up. We're talking about the deep-rooted, soul-stirring kind of inspiration that comes from within. The kind that fuels your passions, drives your actions, and leaves a lasting impact on the world. The inspiration illusion. We live in a world that's obsessed with inspiration. We follow influencers, attend conferences, and read self-help books, all in the hopes of finding that spark that will ignite our own inner fire. But here's the thing. Inspiration is fleeting. It comes and goes like a summer breeze, and relying on external sources of inspiration can leave us feeling empty, unfulfilled, and constantly chasing after the next big thing. As the philosopher Nietzsche put it, he who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. In other words, true inspiration comes from within, from our own sense of purpose, our values, and our passions. The philosophical flip. Instead of seeking inspiration from others, what if we focused on becoming an inspiration to others? What if we shifted our focus from consuming to creating, from following to leading, from being a fan to being a role model? As the activist and author Marianne Williamson put it, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. So how do we unleash our inner light and become a beacon of inspiration for others? 1. Embrace your authenticity. Don't try to be someone you're not. Embrace your quirks, your passions, your unique perspective. The world needs your authentic self, not another carbon copy of someone else. As the poet E. Cummings said, to be nobody but yourself in a world which is doing its best night and day, to make you everybody else means to fight the hardest battle which any human being can fight, and never stop fighting. Think about people who stand out for being themselves. Look at Elon Musk, who didn't conform to the norms and is now changing the world with his innovations. Or consider Oprah Winfrey, who overcame a challenging past to become a global icon by staying true to herself. Authenticity is magnetic. It attracts genuine connections and opportunities. 2. Share your gifts. We all have unique talents, skills, and experiences to offer the world. Don't be afraid to share your gifts, whether it's through your work, your art, your volunteering, or simply your interactions with others. As the saying goes, your talent is God's gift to you. What you do with it is your gift back to God. Imagine the teacher who not only imparts knowledge, but also inspires students with their passion for learning. Think of artists like Van Gogh, who poured their souls into their art, inspiring countless others even long after their time. By sharing what makes you special, you can light up someone's world. 3. Lead with courage. It takes courage to be yourself, to stand up for what you believe in, and to go against the grain. But it's precisely this courage that inspires others. As the civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. said, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." Consider Rosa Parks, whose brave act of defiance sparked the civil rights movement, or Malala Yousafzai, who stood up for girls' education despite life-threatening risks. Leading with courage doesn't just change your life, it can change the world around you. 4. Cultivate compassion. Compassion is the key to connecting with others on a deeper level. It's about seeing the humanity in everyone, regardless of their background, beliefs, or circumstances. As the Dalai Lama said, "If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion." Acts of compassion can be small yet powerful. Think of the volunteer who spends their weekends helping the homeless, or the friend who listens without judgment when you need to vent. Compassion creates a ripple effect, spreading kindness and understanding far and wide. 5. Live with integrity. Your actions should align with your values. Don't just talk the talk, walk the walk. As the philosopher Confucius said, "The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions." Integrity builds trust and respect. Consider the business leader who runs their company ethically, even when it's difficult, or the athlete who plays fair, even if it means losing. When you live with integrity, you inspire others to do the same, creating a community of trust and respect. Let's explore how these concepts can be applied in daily life. The teacher who inspires. A teacher passionate about their subject, who cares deeply about their students, and who creates a safe and supportive learning environment can be a powerful source of inspiration for their students. This teacher doesn't just teach, they ignite a love for learning. The artist who creates. An artist who pours their heart and soul into their work, takes risks, and pushes boundaries can inspire others to express their own creativity. Their art becomes a beacon of self-expression and courage. The activist who fights for change. An activist who fights for justice, equality, and human rights can inspire others to stand up for what they believe in and make a difference in the world. Their courage and dedication spark movements and change lives. Inspiration is not something you find, it's something you become. By embracing your authenticity, sharing your gifts, leading with courage, cultivating compassion, and living with integrity, you can become a beacon of inspiration for others. As the poet Maya Angelou put it, "Nothing can dim the light which shines from within." So let your light shine, folks, and inspire others to do the same. Lesson 2. Guilt is worse than jail. Your philosophical guide to breaking free from the shackles of shame. All right, folks, let's have a real talk about something that can weigh heavier than a ball and chain. Guilt. We're not talking about the "oops, I ate the last cookie" kind of guilt. We're talking about the deep-seated, soul-crushing kind that can keep you up at night, haunt your waking hours, and make you feel like you're drowning in a sea of self-loathing. The guilt trip guilt is a sneaky little bugger. It masquerades as a moral compass, guiding us towards right action and away from wrongdoing. But it can also become a toxic force, a relentless tormentor that robs us of joy, peace, and self-worth. As the philosopher Nietzsche put it, guilt is the most terrible sickness of the soul. It's a heavy burden to carry, a constant reminder of our perceived failures and shortcomings. The prison of the mind. Guilt can feel like a prison, trapping us in a cycle of self-blame, shame, and regret. It can prevent us from moving forward, forgiving ourselves, and embracing the possibility of change. As the writer Maya Angelou said, "There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you." Guilt can be that untold story, a secret shame that we carry with us, afraid to share it with others for fear of judgment or rejection. But here's the thing. Guilt is a choice. We can choose to let it control us, or we can choose to break free from its grip. The philosophical escape route. The ancient Stoics, like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, had a lot to say about guilt and shame. They believed that these emotions are not helpful or productive and that we should strive to overcome them. As Seneca put it, we are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality. In other words, we often make our suffering worse by dwelling on our guilt and shame rather than focusing on solutions and moving forward. Steps to break free from guilt. So how do we break free from the prison of guilt and reclaim our peace of mind? 1. Acknowledge your feelings. The first step is to acknowledge your guilt and shame. Don't try to suppress it or pretend it doesn't exist. Allow yourself to feel the emotions, but don't let them control you. Recognize that these feelings are a natural part of the human experience and that everyone goes through them at some point. By acknowledging your feelings, you take the first step towards healing. Think of it like facing a monster under your bed. It seems terrifying until you actually look and realize it's not as scary as you thought. By shining a light on your guilt, you start to diminish its power over you. 2. Take responsibility. If you've done something wrong, take responsibility for your actions. Apologize to those you've hurt, make amends if possible, and learn from your mistakes. Taking responsibility doesn't mean beating yourself up. It means owning your actions and committing to do better in the future. Consider a friend who feels guilty for missing an important event. Instead of wallowing in guilt, they can apologize sincerely, explain their reasons, and make an effort to be more reliable in the future. This approach fosters growth and strengthens relationships. 3. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up over your past mistakes. Remember, you're human, and everyone makes mistakes. As the Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh put it, to love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance. Treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding that you would offer to a friend who is struggling. Imagine you're comforting a friend who's feeling guilty. You wouldn't harshly criticize them. You'd offer words of kindness and support. Apply the same compassion to yourself, understanding that self-criticism only prolongs your suffering. 4. Focus on the present. Don't dwell on the past. Focus on the present moment and what you can do to make things better. As the saying goes, the past is history, the future is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. By focusing on the present, you can take actionable steps to improve your situation and move forward. Consider the athlete who missed a crucial play and feels overwhelming guilt. Instead of replaying the moment in their mind, they focus on their training, improving their skills, and preparing for the next opportunity. This forward-focused mindset allows them to grow and excel. 5. Seek support. If you're struggling with overwhelming guilt or shame, don't hesitate to seek help from a therapist, counselor, or spiritual advisor. They can provide you with the tools and support you need to heal and move forward. Talking to someone you trust can help you gain perspective, process your emotions, and find a path to healing. Think of the recovering addict who joins a support group. Sharing their struggles and receiving encouragement from others who understand their journey can be incredibly healing. Similarly, opening up about your guilt can provide relief and guidance. Let's explore how these concepts can be applied in daily life. The apologetic friend. A friend who constantly apologizes for minor mistakes or inconveniences, even when it's not necessary. By practicing self-compassion and accepting that they're not perfect, they can learn to let go of their excessive guilt and build healthier relationships. The workaholic. A workaholic who feels guilty for taking time off or relaxing. By setting boundaries, prioritizing self-care, and recognizing that rest is essential for productivity, they can break free from the guilt trap and enjoy a more balanced life. The recovering addict. A recovering addict who struggles with guilt and shame over their past actions. By seeking support from a therapist or support group, practicing self-compassion, and focusing on their recovery, they can learn to forgive themselves and move forward. Guilt is a heavy burden to carry. It can rob us of joy, peace, and self-worth, but it doesn't have to control us. By acknowledging our feelings, taking responsibility, practicing self-compassion, focusing on the present, and seeking support, we can break free from the shackles of shame and create a life filled with love, forgiveness, and inner peace. As the poet Maya Angelou put it, there is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you. So tell your story, forgive yourself, and let go of the guilt. Lesson 3. Kindness is always the right response, but it ain't always easy. All right, folks, let's talk about kindness. Not just the hold the door open for someone kind of kindness, but the deep down, soul-level kind that radiates from within and touches the lives of everyone you meet. We're talking about the kind of kindness that can heal wounds, bridge divides, and make the world a better place. The kindness conundrum. Kindness seems like a no-brainer, right? Be nice to people, treat them with respect, lend a helping hand when you can. But in today's world of social media trolls, political polarization, and road rage, kindness can feel like a radical act. As the Dalai Lama put it, "My religion is very simple. My religion is kindness." But he also acknowledged that practicing kindness is not always easy. It requires effort, patience, and a willingness to look beyond our own self-interest. The philosophical foundation. The ancient philosophers like Confucius and Aristotle understood the importance of kindness and compassion. They saw it as a fundamental virtue, essential for living a good life and creating a harmonious society. As Confucius said, "Do not do to others what you do not want done to yourself." This simple principle, known as the Golden Rule, is found in many different cultures and religions around the world. It's a reminder that kindness is not just a nice-to-have. It's a fundamental ethical principle. The ripple effect. Kindness is not just about making others feel good, it's also about making yourself feel good. When we act with kindness, our brains release oxytocin, a hormone associated with trust, bonding, and happiness. Kindness also has a ripple effect, inspiring others to be kind in return. As the saying goes, kindness is contagious. When we act with kindness, we create a more positive and supportive environment for ourselves and others. The Kindness Toolkit. So how do we cultivate kindness in our daily lives? Here are some practical steps. 1. Practice empathy. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. Try to understand their perspective, their feelings, and their motivations. As the psychologist Brené Brown put it, empathy is not connecting to an experience, it's connecting to the emotions that underpin an experience. Imagine you're dealing with a difficult coworker. Instead of getting frustrated, take a moment to consider what might be causing their behavior. Are they under a lot of stress? Are they dealing with personal issues? By understanding their emotions, you can respond with empathy rather than anger. 2. Listen actively. Listen to what others have to say without interrupting or judging. Show genuine interest in their thoughts and feelings. As the author Stephen Covey put it, most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. Consider a friend who's going through a tough time. Instead of offering unsolicited advice, simply listen to them. Let them vent their feelings and know that you're there for them. Sometimes, just being heard can be incredibly healing. 3. Offer help. Look for opportunities to help others, even in small ways. Hold the door open for someone, offer a compliment, or lend a listening ear. As the saying goes, no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. Think of the elderly neighbor who struggles with their groceries. Offering to carry their bags can make a big difference in their day. Small acts of kindness can create a sense of community and connection. 4. Forgive freely. Holding on to anger and resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Forgiveness is not about condoning bad behavior, it's about freeing yourself from the burden of negativity. Consider a friend who hurt you with their words. Holding a grudge only prolongs your pain. By choosing to forgive, you release yourself from the emotional weight and open the door to healing. 5. Be kind to yourself. Kindness starts with ourselves. Treat yourself with compassion, understanding, and forgiveness. As the poet Maya Angelou put it, love yourself first and everything else falls into line. Imagine you made a mistake at work. Instead of beating yourself up, remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes. Use it as a learning opportunity and move forward with self-compassion. Let's explore how these concepts can be applied in daily life. The rude customer. Instead of snapping back at a rude customer, the kind salesperson takes a deep breath, listens to their complaint, and tries to find a solution. By responding with kindness, they can diffuse the situation and turn a negative interaction into a positive one. The stressed out parent. Instead of yelling at their kids, the kind parent takes a break, practices some self-care, and then addresses the situation with patience and understanding. This approach not only calms the situation, but also models healthy behavior for their children. The online troll. Instead of engaging in a flame war with an online troll, the kind person chooses to ignore them or respond with a calm and respectful message. By refusing to engage in negativity, they maintain their own peace and integrity. Kindness is not just a nice-to-have, it's a superpower. It has the power to heal, to connect, to inspire, and to transform. By practicing empathy, active listening, offering help, forgiving freely, and being kind to ourselves, we can unleash the power of kindness and make the world a better place. As the poet Rumi put it, let the beauty of what you love be what you do. Let's choose kindness and let it guide our actions every single day. Lesson 4. Seeking higher pleasures. Your philosophical upgrade to a life that's lit and not just a sugar rush. All right, folks, let's talk about pleasure. No, we're not talking about the fleeting thrills of a sugar rush or the instant gratification of a dopamine hit. We're diving deeper into the concept of higher pleasure, a more lasting, meaningful, and soul-satisfying kind of enjoyment that can elevate your life from May to heck yeah. The pleasure paradox. We live in a world that's obsessed with pleasure. We're constantly bombarded with messages telling us to indulge, to treat ourselves, to seek out the next big thrill. But here's the thing, not all pleasures are created equal. Some pleasures are fleeting, leaving us feeling empty and craving more. Others are more enduring, enriching our lives and contributing to our overall well-being. As the philosopher John Stuart Mill put it, it is better to be a human being dissatisfied than a pig satisfied. Better to be Socrates dissatisfied than a fool satisfied. In other words, some pleasures are simply better, more valuable and more worthy of our pursuit than others. The hierarchy of happiness. Mill's idea of higher and lower pleasures might seem a bit snobby at first, but it's actually a pretty insightful concept. He argued that pleasures that engage our intellect, creativity, emotions, and moral sensibilities are ultimately more satisfying and fulfilling than those that merely gratify our basic physical needs. Think of it like this. Eating a delicious meal is a pleasure, but it's a lower pleasure. It satisfies a basic physical need, but it doesn't necessarily enrich your life or expand your horizons. On the other hand, reading a thought-provoking book, having a deep conversation with a friend, or creating a work of art can be considered higher pleasures. They engage your mind, heart, and soul, leaving you feeling more fulfilled and connected to the world around you. Cultivating higher pleasures. So, how do we cultivate a taste for these higher pleasures and elevate our happiness game? Here are some practical steps. 1. Expand your horizons. Don't limit yourself to the same old routines and habits. Explore new interests, try new activities, and challenge yourself to step outside your comfort zone. As the philosopher Alain de Botton put it, anyone who isn't embarrassed of who they were last year probably isn't learning enough. Imagine you've always been a fan of action movies. Try watching a documentary or a foreign film. Not only will you gain new perspectives, but you might also discover a new passion. 2. Engage your mind. Read books, watch documentaries, attend lectures, and engage in conversations that challenge your thinking and expand your knowledge. As the physicist Richard Feynman said, the first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. Picture yourself attending a lecture on a topic you know little about. The new knowledge can spark ideas and conversations, enriching your intellectual life. 3. Cultivate your creativity. Express yourself through art, music, writing, or any other creative outlet that speaks to you. As the artist Frida Kahlo said, I paint self-portraits because I am so often alone, because I am the person I know best. Think about starting a journal or picking up a paintbrush. These creative activities can provide deep satisfaction and a sense of accomplishment. 4. Connect with others. Build meaningful relationships with people who inspire you, challenge you, and support you. As the philosopher Aristotle put it, man is by nature a social animal. Consider joining a club or a community group. These connections can offer profound emotional and intellectual rewards. 5. Give back. Find ways to contribute to your community, whether it's volunteering your time, donating to charity, or simply being kind and helpful to others. As the saying goes, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Volunteer at a local shelter or participate in community cleanup events. These acts of service can provide a deep sense of purpose and fulfillment. Let's explore how these concepts can be applied in daily life. The foodie philosopher. The foodie philosopher doesn't just eat to satisfy their hunger. They savor each bite, appreciate the culinary artistry, and explore different cuisines and cultures. They understand that food is not just fuel, it's a source of pleasure, connection, and cultural expression. The art enthusiast. The art enthusiast doesn't just look at art, they experience it. They visit museums, galleries, and art festivals, read about art history, attend lectures, and engage in conversations about art. They understand that art is not just decoration, it's a window into the human soul. The lifelong learner. The lifelong learner is always seeking out new knowledge and skills. They take courses, attend workshops, read books, and listen to podcasts. They understand that learning is not just a means to an end, it's a source of joy and fulfillment in itself. Higher pleasure is not about denying yourself simple pleasures or becoming a snobby elitist. It's about expanding your horizons, engaging your mind, cultivating your creativity, connecting with others, and giving back to the world. It's about living a life that's rich in meaning, purpose, and joy. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche put it, without music, life would be a mistake. But we could also say, without higher pleasures, life would be a missed opportunity. So go out there and explore the world, folks. There's a whole universe of higher pleasures waiting to be discovered. To recap, today we've explored 4 powerful lessons from Stoicism. Being an inspiration instead of seeking it, breaking free from the chains of guilt, practicing kindness even when it's tough, and seeking higher pleasures that truly elevate your life. By integrating these Stoic principles into your daily life, you can transform your perspective and achieve a deeper sense of fulfillment and purpose. If you found this video helpful, don't miss the next one that will appear on your screen shortly. Also, comment, like, and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear your thoughts and see how you apply Stoic principles in your daily life. Stay strong, stay wise, and keep living your truth.